Ma'am, standard 10 is one we received. Ma'am, we are actually preparing a visual magazine on a CD or a DVD. So we would like to include your interview in the magazine as you are our principal. Ma'am, we would like to ask you some questions. Ma'am, what do you think about the initiative of electronic classes?
Of course, your initiative is good. I will not say no. That's good. If you can, but only thing is if you can keep it preserve and keep it for a long time.
What do you think will it? What do you think will it, ma'am, survive in the long run of the paper magazine?
That's what I said. Because I know that even now the students, the magazines which we have in the schools and colleges and all, even they keep it for a long time, and even their own children they show that magazine after some time. Will you be able to do that? Will you be able to preserve that? That's what it is.
Second question. What is your opinion about our batch presently standard 10?
That's a big question you are asking me. I think the answer you should tell yourself. You should say yourself what you feel about it. Say what you feel about it. Good in study, good in character, good in behavior, and it may be the other side. I also have the same feeling. Some of them are very good students. Some classes are also exceptionally very good, even in their behavior. But there are some students who is not up to the mark as they are able to.
How was your experience?
It's not that bad actually, of course I will not say that. Of course if I compare with the old students, and now when it's over about 5-6 years students and now, there's a little change in the present situation. Maybe it is because of their, maybe the too much of exposure to the media and other things like that. Maybe that's it.
Ma'am, what change have you observed since you have been in the principal?
From the beginning of it, certainly. Because I'm not only a principal over here, actually I was for so many years I am over here as the vice principal, then become the principal. That way, if you say that my old students are coming now, many of them are coming, even their own children are studying over here. So compared to that, maybe I think after 10 years or after 5 years, you also become the same way that you come, because all of them are in a very good position and very happy for it. Maybe after 5 years, or 6 years, you will be also the same, then you will understand the value of your school when you get out from here. In that way, children are naughty, of course I accept the naughtiness of the children. But one thing, one message I want to give, that I don't want, actually the students, they should not be wicked. They can be naughty. That we enjoy, your naughtiness, even if it's big, that we teachers also enjoy that, but not wickedness. That's the only thing we are having.
You may have come across many bachelor students, some intelligent, some quiet, some disciplined. How do you interact and manage with them?
Some intelligent. I said children after all they are intelligent. The only thing is how they are taking it. Some of them are very hard, so they got very good marks. Some of them are little lazy, so they don't go for it. I believe, and I always tell my students, 99% is a hard work. Yeah.
Last but not least, what message would you like to give the present batch standard 10 who is going to face boards exam and for their future?
It is now high time for you to study. All this time I don't think you are very serious about your study. But now I think it is very high time for you to study. 1 minute. 1 minute of yours is actually very valuable. So you don't have time to waste. And if you study now also, you can make very soon.
Thank you.
Wish you all the best for the board. That's what I want.
Thank you.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. Sir, we are preparing an e-magazine for our school. So, as you are the director of our school and a great guide for us, so I would like to ask you some questions. This is a kind of interview which will be put in the magazine.
Go ahead.
Sir, what do you call our initiative of the
I personally feel that this venture of yours, this Academy magazine, is really good. It is not very expensive as per my inquiry, and it's definitely going to be an example for others to follow.
So how long had you been in this teaching profession before you started this institution?
I joined St. Michael's High School as a teacher in the year 1965. The exact date is 2nd July 1960. And I took a liking to my career as a teacher, though that was not my actual ambition. However, after joining St. Michael's, I got interested with the children. I was also staying in the same campus with the children. And as years rolled by, I took a great liking to most of the children that I met. Many of them are great men now. I don't want to name a few, but just to mention the present Secretary Home Secretary, Mr. R.K. he was my student. Like him, there are quite a number of, even Mr. Rajiv Pratap Rumi, and they brought out the best in me. No doubt. There was some problems. That's how I got interested in the school. And then finally, one in 1973, St. Michael's School was closing down. Therefore, I decided to start my own hospital. I was encouraged by the authorities of St. Michael's, who said very clearly that they would help me to establish the hospital. Let me tell you that we started pretty well, and the hospital progressed. We had hired a big building in Patliputra Colony, house number 149. That house belonged to one of our teachers. I don't know if you know her name. She knows that Anita Roy. She was then a very young girl, studying in 8th standard. I don't think you want all these details, do you? Well, since we had the top portion of the building, the ground floor was practically free. And then the idea set in that we should start a primary school. So, that same year, in the month of February, we ventured out with a primary school named Don Bosco. And why Don Bosco? Because Don Bosco was the patron for young children, not for children belonging to wealthy, the elitist people, but the children that were working, that were rather down and out, and were the street children, I would say. We went out to help the street children and build them up to be what we call wonderful scholars. That was why I got interested in starting Don Bosco. Yeah.
So what changes have you observed in the behavior and sincerity of students in the past years?
I must say, initially, there was tremendous interest in all the students. The teachers were totally dedicated and involved in building up this little school. And I must tell you, most of them, as I said, this was first for a feeder school. We started first as a feeder school. And the feeder school prospered, and the children got into prominent schools in the vicinity. And finally, we decided to go on our own when we found that most of our students were not able to get admission in our schools. So when we started our own school, the children were totally involved, the teachers were involved, they worked very hard, and as time passed, the first batch, the second batch, the third batch of ICSE students that passed out from this school encouraged us. Their behavior, they still come back to us, and I must say they were a good set of students. They had exemplary behavior, and I must say we found them wonderful.
So what ran through your mind when you were struck by the news of the Bosco Academy becoming the best ICSE school in Bihar?
It shocked me. It shocked me. I didn't expect it to be the best ICSE school in Bihar. I did feel that we were comparatively doing our very best compared to other schools in the vicinity and on an all-India level. And I must tell you, on an all-India level, we stand a very good place. There is no doubt about that.
So, you did the program that was being conducted to use the distributed and then you successfully
Yes. Unfortunately, I was not able to attend that particular meeting when this wonderful award was being granted to Don Bosco's as the best school in Patna. I was very overwhelmed with joy and gratefulness, of course, to all the teachers who have really helped to make the school a great school and helped the school to obtain a particular topic. And I am also grateful to God for having given us such good teachers and good children.
what would be the message to the students of India?
Yes, the message is don't give up. Don't give up. Put your best effort forward. Go ahead. Everything is possible. Nothing is impossible. It all requires your involvement, your commitment, your interest. And you can achieve the world. Shoot for the stars and you may succeed at least in shooting above your head. Wish all the students the very best. Is that okay? Anything more?
Initiative of electronic banking.
It's a good initiative. I'm sure it will be, taken up by more and more children in our school later on. It's definitely going to, take over. The print magazine I'm not too sure, but slowly, phase out. Because on a CD you have a larger capacity. So I think, and it's cheaper, people are going to take it, I'm sure. And as the older days goes, the old will get placed to the new. I think the magazine will do well.
Your opinion about standard 10A?
10A. Let's begin with 9A. I've been teaching 9A and 10A for the past 2 years. They've been the same lot of students. Fantastic class. Let me start by saying that. It's been a beautiful experience. The students there have been very interested in learning. Very interested in learning. Very few students who needed to be pushed more than ordinary. Most of the students were very eager to learn, and that also kept me on my toes. I had to be prepared, I had to be well informed, to be able to meet the requirements, the needs of the class. It has been a rediscovery for myself. It has given me an opportunity. We always learn. This has, teaching 10A especially. 9A is always a new class, like students coming from standard 8 to 9. They still start getting adjusted to a senior class like 9th standard. But in 10th standard, they were very challenging, and it was a rediscovery of myself. Gave me an opportunity to know who I was, to learn myself. So it was a beautiful experience. I am going to miss NA. It has been one of my good classes.
What are your thoughts about students who come across at school?
Students who we come across at school, they're very eager to learn. They come with a lot of expectations and hopes, and they need the right guidance. Once they get the right guidance, there's no sorrow. That's for sure. Some may go off the track sometimes, but then it's the duty of the school and his friends, his peer group to try and bring him back onto the track. And that's where the guidance comes into play. Once they get the right guidance, nothing can stop them. They achieve heights. I have seen many of my ex-students also, our ex-students I would say, doing very well in life. What made them do that? Right guidance, right place, right education. They are happy.
Message to students of BBA for their future.
Work hard. Your class 10 boards, that is your ICC examination, is your first most important public examination. Make the most of it, do well. There is no substitute for hard work. And if you have the right attitude, success is achievable.
We are making an e-magazine for the 10th standard, and so I'd like to take an interview of you.
Sure.
So may I ask you some questions?
Yes, definitely. Why don't you sit down?
Yes. Thanks.
Tell me.
So, what do you think about the e-magazine? So you have been part of the many magazines produced in this school. So this is a new kind of initiative taken by the students. So what do you think about this e-magazine?
I support it. I mean, we must change with times. Very few people do a lot of reading nowadays. I think an e-magazine is just right for this point of time. And it portrays exactly what's happening in the school over a given period.
So space will be consumed. So there are many. So second question is, what do you think this magazine will survive in the long run and near future, or
As long as Don Bosco is around, it will survive. Very simple answer.
it will survive? And then, so what do you think? What do you last message do you want to convey to the students of Don Bosco, past students from Don Bosco?
No, be proud of the school, always. When you leave the school, you realize the importance of Don Bosco. We do our best in providing you a very sound education, a disciplined education, full of morals and values. And we hope when you leave our school and go out, you portray the same image outside school and make the school proud. Because you students make up the school, not the administration. When you go outside and behave well and people say, where are you from? You say, from Don Bosco. And that's what builds up the goodwill of the school. So you people make up the school.
So, any past memory, beautiful memory, pleasurable memory of Don Bosco associated with you?
Well, the 25 years, we completed 25 and this year we completed the 40th year, which we are celebrating. I think that's an achievement by itself for a private school.
So, what comes to your mind when you said that Don Bosco has been awarded the best ICC school in Bihar?
To tell you the truth, I always say Don Bosco is the best. It wasn't a surprise. It's waiting for someone else to say it.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. All the best. All the best.
For giving this time.
All the best. All the best.
Thank you.
It would be a golden opportunity for us to take your interview. Maybe ask some questions.
Sure, but before I begin, let me thank all of you. As far as I have observed, most of the 10th standard students think only 10th standard teachers are their mentors. So it's a sense of good feeling for me that you have thought of me and taking me also in account that I have been your guide. So that's very nice of you. And I felt nice when I saw that piece of paper yesterday. You'd written my name behind it. That means somewhere at the back of the mind I was there. So that's a good feeling. we've had school magazines earlier also, but many a times we've been missed out. You understand what I mean by that? So it's a very good idea, very noble one, and very up to date. So for that, it's all the credit goes to you. You all had this idea in mind. It's very nice.
What is your opinion of standard attending? How was the teaching experience there in the session?
As far as I remember, now you all are shuffled up, isn't it? But when I was a class teacher, I remember I was the class teacher of standard 6F.
5A.
5A. No.
5A.
5A, you all went 5A. Okay. So you all are, I mean, what I see generally, you all are all shuffled up, isn't it? So students have become real fast, and they've got great ideas, like this one of course. And apart from that, they are very, they have got a lot of knowledge apart from studies, which is very good. And in this competitive world where there's a cutthroat competition, it's very nice. And I wish all of you the best in future with good ideas, great ideas.
What do you think about students taking private tuitions these days? Is it a positive or negative aspect of school study?
You want my opinion on it? See, private tuition, I don't consider it to be bad. See, if you have to excel in anything, you need proper guidance. Classroom is a place where everybody is generalized. Alright? And then there are quite a few who are a little below average. So they need personal guidance. Just like if you are sick, you go to a general hospital. But then when you are very serious about it and you need specialization, you go to a specialist. So then at this point of my time, I sometimes feel children, some subjects where they are particularly weak, there's no harm in going to a teacher where they can get personal guidance. And then it's a very noble profession. I mean, and there's no harm at all in going for private tuitions at all. I mean, I don't consider it to be bad. And neither do I consider it to be a shameful act from the viewpoint of a teacher. Because in any case, you are doing extra work, and if you're paid for it, then there's no harm in it. Alright. And then for the children also, they have a greater rapport when there's one-to-one interaction. Of course, I consider class to be like that, but then classroom atmosphere is something else. Alright, and it's a general atmosphere, but in a tuition or in a private guidance, when a teacher gives it out to you, you have a personal rapport with the teacher. So the teacher also understands your weakness, and that's the point, or that's the place where they're able to guide you in a better way. So it's always for the good of the student. So I find if it's beneficial, go ahead with it. There's no harm in that.
For how long have you been teaching this subject?
Oh, I won't say it's long. I've enjoyed my profession, and let me tell you, it was by chance I became a teacher. After completing my graduation, I didn't have much to do. So it was just that my father asked me, he was on a transferable job, and there was a good convent school. He asked me if I wanted something as an engagement, and I joined there as like a part-time thing, and then it became my total profession. And then it's been long years, around 17 years. Yes, and I've been teaching before my marriage. So now I'm very comfortable. Earlier it was quite comfortable now, and I find it very enjoyable, very job satisfying, you can say that. At least satisfying.
What can you tell us about the outlook of students to this subject as your observation?
For science you're talking about very advanced. Means they put up a lot of questions, which means throughout my years of teaching, means that some of the questions are so different, so noble and so unique. Like I'm also even taken up a little like how did they come up with but then with all the interactions with your internet and computer and so many books and encyclopedias, and they have got access to all of these, so they are very up to date and very practical. All right, the more at our level where I teach 6th standard, they are more focused. All right, and most important, they want to come to the point. All right, so that objective type thing is far more than what it was in the earlier years.
Last but not the least, what would be your message to the students of BBA for their goals and future?
Like everybody else, your parents, teachers, I wish all the best to all of you, and may you have a lot of success. But along with success, don't lose your moral values. Alright, I always consider, I tell my children, means whenever I have an opportunity, moral science classes, I tell them also, it's good to be good at studies, but still better to be a good human being, isn't it? Everybody wants to attain success, but not at the cost of your moral values, and not by means for which you would feel ashamed of. So, all the best, and may you, all of you, have a lot of harmony in life. It's a cutthroat competition. Alright, so go along with it, take it in your stride, work hard, but be a good human being. All the best.
So how long have you been teaching Hindi?
ऐसे तो मैं 25 सालों से हिंदी पढ़ा रही हूँ, लेकिन BBA में 17 सालों से हिंदी पढ़ा रही हूँ।
According to you, how should a student plan his studies regarding Hindi?
मेरे अनुसार जीवन जीने के लिए योजना अनुसार काम करना जरूरी है। शिक्षा तो हमारे जीवन का अहम हिस्सा है, जो जीवन भर करता है। तो शिक्षा के लिए योजना बनाना और उसके अनुसार चलना अति आवश्यक है। पढ़ाई में आप जितना भी विषय पढ़ते हैं, वह सभी समान रूप से महत्वपूर्ण है। इसलिए सभी विषयों के लिए समय पाकर और निश्चित रूप में अभ्यास करें। अपनी पढ़ाई करनी चाहिए, क्योंकि वर्तमान की मेहनत पर भविष्य का परिणाम है। आधार जितना मजबूत होगा, मकान उतना ही ठोस और सुंदर होगा।
Last but not the least, what would be your message to the students of BBA for their goals and future?
आज मैं बच्चों को यह संदेश देना चाहती हूँ कि BBA से पास होने वाले बच्चे सचमुच भाग्यशाली हैं, लेकिन वे इस बात को स्कूल में रहते हुए नहीं समझ पाते हैं। जब वे दूसरे संस्थानों में एडमिशन लेते हैं, तो वे अपने BBA की याद आती है। वे अगर इस बात को जितना जल्दी समझ सकें, उतना ही उनके लिए और उनकी पढ़ाई और उनके भविष्य के लिए अच्छा होगा। माँ के रूप में शिक्षिका होने के नाते मैं सभी बोर्ड परीक्षार्थियों की सफलता एवं सुखद भविष्य के लिए तहे दिल से शुभकामनाएं देती हूँ।
We are preparing an e-magazine. So as you have been a great guide to us, so it would be a golden opportunity for us to take an interview for our magazine. So maybe ask for a few questions.
Sure.
What do you think of our initiative of electronic magazine?
First of all, I think your efforts are commendable. It is technically advancing where accessibility, storage, all this is a facility that you can have everything at your fingertips. So I think it's a very commendable effort.
What is the opinion of our batch of students presenting talent, and how was your teaching experience with them?
My teaching experience with your batch was very good too. In some of the classes I used to teach both history and geography. So in my class, I found the students responsive, well behaved. So, and most of them used to be interested in the subject. So I love teaching your batch. At least it was a very disciplined batch that I had.
Don't you feel there is too much pressure on the students?
No, not at all. Time management is something that you have to learn. If you can manage your time well, that pressure will not be on any of you. Management of time has to be done, and you can manage it.
How long have you been teaching this subject? History and geography.
I have been teaching for the last 20 years.
And how has been your experience?
Experience in teaching history, geography. Geography students always find it very interesting compared to history. History becomes boring and monotonous, but as far as I am concerned, I have tried to make it lively, telling stories or relating it to the present or something like that. But the final what is the history?
Now, what can you tell us about the outlook of students to this subject at your occupation?
I just said, history they find it boring, monotonous. Geography, I never used to face this problem. Geography, the class used to be over enthusiastic and responsive. But history, they think it's just a repetition and so.
Last but not the least, what would be your message to the students of DBA for their goals and future?
If you work hard, you will achieve success, and that is the only way to achieve success. Running away from hard work will give you nothing. It's hard work that pays everything.
We are preparing an e-magazine, and so as we have been a great guide for us, we are holding the opportunity to interview you for our magazine. Can we ask you some questions? Ma'am, what do you think of our initiative in e-magazine?
It's nice to know that you people are working on the modern ways of communication. It's very good. I think you are keeping pace with the modern world.
What is your opinion of Channel 10? How was the teaching experience there?
You have some gems and diamonds and rupees and sapphires in your class. It was great. You were lovely children.
And what do you think about students taking private tuition? Is it a good aspect or a bad aspect?
Not at all good at. I think it should be removed. You work on your own.
How long have you been teaching this subject?
More than a decade. More than a decade.
And what are your views about the subject? How was the outlook of students towards this subject?
Pretty good. They learn, they have the urge to learn and don't tend to learn.
Last but not least, what would be your message to students of DBA for their goals and future?
Carry on your plan. I wish to see you best things in life. God bless you.
Come in.
So we are preparing an e-magazine. So as you have been a great guide to us, it would be a golden opportunity to take your interview for the magazine. So maybe ask you a few questions.
Please, welcome. If you come this side, face the camera, then I'll be looking this side only. You should be in front, then I can look this side. Is this okay? This watch is okay.
So what do you think of our initiative of electronic magazine?
Electronic magazine, in terms of technology, definitely it is innovative and a very good idea. But my feeling is it is not a replacement for book, magazine on print. Because print gives you another feeling when you are reading it. You get the texture of paper, you can feel the printed material, you can really feel it in your hands rather than only in the eyes. Technology only gives it to you on the screen. I also agree that in technology you save a lot of space,
and easy to access. Those factors are there. But for my feeling, there is no replacement to printed magazine.
So, for how long have you been teaching physics?
28th year on. 28 years.
How has been your experience?
My experience was always evolving into, a better teacher. Process of teaching is never final. You always evolve. It is always an ongoing process, both in terms of learning and in terms of teaching. Every year I come out with a new method to, convince children, to motivate them. What I motivated you in 8th, I may not be applying the same way now in 10th, when you are in 10th. So I apply new ways. So teaching process for me has always been learning process. Never a final. It was never final.
Sir, what can you tell us about the outlook of students to this subject as your observation?
Yes. Today subjects are only taken as commercial aspect, where I can, evolve into an engineer or into some professional course. Subjects are never taken up in the form of love for the subject. That is one thing that is lacking in students today. We want to take up a subject more by pressure of parents. You need to be a science graduate, you need to take up science. So many times I've heard parents saying, "Nahi, science nahi padhega to kuch nahi banega." A very, very big misconception with parents. Science. So therefore, mostly students are taking up science. Tomorrow I'll become an engineer. Not because I love physics. I will take up physics. I love chemistry. I enjoy doing it. Those factors are absent. It's a very small percentage who really love a subject.
Last but not the least, what students of DBA for their future?
For preparation for future, I'll tell you. First of all, for exam point of view, definitely you have to, from the very beginning, and which students are really, not acquired habit from January start preparing for just because they are not started. They want to get results with very short, very effort. And more consistency, more commitment. Result after long for the enemy for
sometimes very good, sometimes negative feelings are also there because of the very casual approach of the students. But on the whole, I have a positive attitude. I know the students of this generation, they are going to do well. Lots of scope is there. I know they will take the right path and do well.
What is the thought about students you come across at school?
What I said just now, a mixed group is there, that there are students very sincere and others who are taking a very casual approach. Many things are actually responsible for it, overexposure to media, and so much distractions are there nowadays, so we don't blame the students also all the time. Yes?
For how long have you been teaching this biology?
This is my 20th year in this school.
And according to how should a student plan to study regarding biology?
See, the syllabus, many students find it difficult, but it is not difficult. The syllabus is vast. For that, regular, sincere studying is very important. That is the only thing required. And since it is 50% paper, as I tell you, people is diagram based. We were telling you to do the diagrams, practice them. Even if the diagram comes from labeling, then also it should be drawn and practiced. And learn to give the answers to the point. Don't give any elaborate answers. It will just, like, you will not get time to complete the paper if you are not writing to the point. Okay, so that requires regular practice.
And last but not least, what would your message to the students for DG for their board?
All the best for the exam, and wishing you a very happy and prosperous future. We will look forward to meeting you after. When you can come back and let us know which fields you have chosen and how well you all are doing. All the best for you.
Thank you. So as you have been a guide to this Bosco, it would be a golden opportunity to take your interview for our magazine. So can you answer some of our questions?
Sure, go ahead.
So what do you think of our initiative of e-magazine?
Something nice, innovative, good. It's a change. It's a change, definitely. So it's good.
So what do you think of the batch of students that is presently in standard 10? How was your experience teaching them?
On the whole, it's definitely a good batch. Except for a few here and there. But that's there everywhere. I can't.
So for how long have you been teaching English for this institution?
33 years.
So what have you observed about the outlook of students towards English?
I wouldn't say it's something very good and very good. Literature is something that one should read or study to enjoy. Here basically what I see is that children study literature for the sake of the examination. That is what actually what examination, what literature is. Study something for the sake of enjoying in future. If you ask, what about Shakespeare? Is it of any use in the future days? Nothing. But literature leads you into the world and that is where you should enjoy studying. But that is not what you see.
So what do you think about students taking faculty?
Absolutely. Though I take it, I'm against it. As far as I know, all the teachers in this school, they are very genuine, they will sincerely teach you. I can understand if a child who is poor in understanding, slow in catching up, poor in communication. But now it has become a passion. Going for people. And also a chance for them to entertain themselves and open up. But I don't encourage that.
What would be your message to the students for their board exam?
You are in the initial phases of your life, stepping out into a wide and wild world. This is the ground from where you learn things. Start learning things and go out and okay, all the best for your endeavor. It's very good.
We are preparing a e-magazine. And you have been a great guide to us. We would like to take your interview.
Okay.
So, what do you think of the initiative of the electronic magazine?
Of course, this is a new idea. Children normally brings school magazines. This is an innovative idea. I hope that we get grand success. And you are showing a new way of expressing your ideas and expertise in the next generation.
Louder. Do you feel that there is too much pressure on the students these days?
In today's education system, children is having some sort of pressure because of the syllabus, to cope up with the syllabus, and Otherwise, I would like to say that most of the boards, they are doing the comprehensive analysis evaluation system. So that way they are trying to reduce the pressure of the children. I think that way children don't have much pressure in future.
So for how long have you been serving in the force?
I would like to say that before you born, that means I'm working here since 1991.
What can you tell us about the outlook of students towards library class?
The reading habit of the children compared to earlier decreased. But certain extent, some 20 to 30% students are still reading, and they are utilizing the library in a proper way. Because children know that in today's scenario, the companies also want talented people. So from talent,